let's go ahead and downshift a little bit. We're in second gear. Oh, let's go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. 7,000 RPM red line. This car loves to go. Oh, wow. What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. We have our G37 right behind us. In the last video, we did a wash on this G37 to really clean it up, and we have to do the headlights still because the headlights are still kind of hazy and yellow, but the car looks very clean after the wash. I have to say this car has aged, like the body style in general has aged very well. You can't tell it's a 2009 vehicle. It looks very good even to this day. So in today's video, we're gonna take this G37 out on the road and tell you what it's like driving a 2009 G37 with almost 170,000 miles. With that being said, let's hop on the car and go out on the road. Okay guys, we are out on the road. We're gonna put this car into sport mode and let's have some with this G37 with almost 170,000 miles. This car loves to rev. It's a very rev-heavy engine, 3.7 liter, making 328 horsepower. And this is the same engine found in Nissan 370Z. And honestly, this car having like basically two high revving motors, a 5.0 revving to 7,500. This one also revved to like 7,400. Makes both of the cars so fun to drive. And with the sport mode, the car really pulls strong. It has a really good throttle response. And it will downshift as you brake. So if I was to brake, it's gonna get me in the right gear, hold the gears for you. Oh man, this car, it's a very underrated car for what it is. Like, this car loves to pull. And even in like this little bit twisty roads, the car actually handles really well. This is a sport model. So this is actually the sport model. So it has some suspension enhancements and bigger wheels. All of that is contributing to that, but oh man. The way it just stays in the power band, oh, so good. And we'll downshift as soon as you hit the brakes. Oh man, this car is so fun to drive. It's a very rev-happy engine. These VQ motors, as long as you don't put like obnoxious exhaust, which is where they get the bad reputation from, you will really learn to enjoy this car. And when you're just driving around normally, like I'm in a neighborhood right now, just cruising, it's actually a surprisingly comfortable car. The suspension is not too stiff where you can't daily drive this car. It goes over bumps relatively smooth. It is supposed to be a sporty premium sedan, so they didn't go with too stiff suspension components where you just hate driving it daily driving. But we're gonna go out and stretch again, and we're actually gonna use one of my favorite things about this car, which is the paddle shifters. The paddle shifters on these cars makes this sedan very fun to drive. So let's go ahead and downshift a little bit. We're in second gear. Oh, let's go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. 7,000 RPM red line. This car loves to go. Oh, wow. We're in fourth gear right now and turn coming in. Very composed, very composed. The paddle shifters on this car, there's another Q50 over there. The paddle shifters in this car really are the move. A lot of people say the 7-speed transmission isn't as responsive, and maybe yeah, if you compare the ZF8 or the 10-speed transmission, it's not. You can tell it's a little bit slow, even in regular automatic mode. And definitely paddle shifter, you can tell it's a little bit slower. But man, this car, you have to give it credit for when it first came out. So 7-speed, I think they still use the 7-speed in the Q50, which was up until 2024 model year. They had Q50 until they discontinued it. So the Q50 still uses 7-speed, and at that point, yes, it's very dated, but this car is a 2009, so having a 7-speed transmission is actually not a bad thing. I think the value for this car in terms of the fun factor you get and how much they've depreciated if you're actually in the used market is pretty good. The car is very fast for what it is, 300 plus horsepower, 7-speed automatic transmission with the pedal shifters, very composed suspension. The comfort level and everything is very good, and it actually handles well too. If you're gonna track it, obviously it's not gonna hold up, but it's a sedan with almost 4,000 pounds, and it surprises me with its acceleration, its comfort level, and everything basically you would want it in a sporty daily driver. I'm so glad I chose to kind of use this car as my daily driver. While it doesn't have the same power as the Mustang, obviously, the Mustang is 460, and I have it tuned up, so probably 480, 490 to the crank. This is at least 150 horsepower down, if not more. But driving around in traffic, driving around, just getting on the car a little bit, it is pretty responsive, and you actually enjoy the car a lot. So while it's no Mustang, it still has a fun factor attached to it, which is exactly what I was looking for in a daily driven car that can get me from A to B comfortably, but I can still have fun where I don't just miss my Mustang 24/7. I think going the German route will probably get you a little bit more refined suspension and better horsepower, but the fact that this has almost 167,000 miles just tells me that how well built that these cars are and how reliable these cars are. They really hold up very, very well. I'm extremely impressed with the Infinitis. It's a shame that they kind of fell off with the Q50 3-liter twin turbo, really good motor, but then they just kind of never updated that car. That car with like a ZF8 transmission, maybe a tuned up suspension, would have actually give the B58 ZF8 combination a run for its money. But Infiniti kind of just gave up after these G37s and never really updated the engines or transmissions. Since like 2016, it had been the same car up until 2024 is when they killed it. So I really wish Infiniti had done a little bit more with the Q50 platform, but this G37 is the move. It's really fun to drive, really luxury premium car. It has a lot of features that even my Mustang doesn't have. So, but yeah, guys, that's the first drive in the G37 after it's being all washed up and cleaned up. We're gonna split some of the miles with the Mustang. That's gonna be helpful, especially the winter is here now. So you really can't have too much fun in the Mustang with the snow coming in, just having colder temperature where the traction becomes an issue. We're gonna see what to do with the G37. We might do some minor appearance mods, maybe get an exhaust on that as well. 3.7 liter V6 engines do sound good, but if you put a too loud of an exhaust, they kind of sound very ricer. So I don't want to be that guy, especially if you're going to be daily driving this car, or at least splitting the miles. I wouldn't call it daily driving because I still want to be driving my Mustang more than this car, but this will just kind of help split up the miles on some of the boring drives I would get, like in terms of being stuck in the traffic or just when it's too cold out to really enjoy the Mustang. But yeah, so stay tuned up in terms of what we're gonna plan for this car. Just make more videos on this car, get a feel for this and what it means for the Mustang itself. We're looking at some long tube headers and E85 setups, but I'm also evaluating the cost for boost if I go the ESS route or even a Whipple. ESS has been one of the value for money in terms of the boost game for Mustangs. It has truly changed the affordability of the boost, and they're pretty reliable in terms of making power, 650 to 700 horsepower, very reliably. So that's something I've been eyeing on as well. But let's see how this car holds up, and we're gonna go from there. So yeah, stay tuned up for future mods and videos on the Mustang and the G37. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for future videos.